How's it going, everyone? My name is Brianna Patton, student athlete for Winnemac High School, and you're listening to the Winnemac Athletic Podcast.
Welcome to the Winnemac Athletic Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Sanders Foods. Whatever you're looking for, you'll find it at your hometown grocery store. First Federal Savings Bank. They don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Riverside Rentals. Discover canoeing, kayaking, and lazy river tubing right here in Winnemac. Action Plumbing and Heating for all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Been serving people since 1994. And now, the voice of the Winnemac Athletic Podcast, Justin Ruff.
Hello. Welcome back to the Winnemac Athletic Podcast, episode number 25, getting you closer and closer to Winnemac Athletics. Jay Ruff in the house today. Have a dandy of an episode for you today. Lots to go over from last week. We will go over that, and we will go over the sports update for this week and what is to come. And what is to come this week on this episode, finally, we get to talk to the Winnemac girls wrestling squad, a member and athlete from that first ever Winnemac team for the girls wrestling, and the very first ever in history Winnemac girls wrestling head coach, Lauren Reams. We will talk to them today. But first, let's go through our score update.
Now it's time for your Winnemac Weekly Score Update.
Let's go ahead and start with the boys wrestling team. I tell you what, man, they weren't really extremely active last week. They had one match, and that was a pretty awesome one on stage against the Pioneer Panthers. They did what they were supposed to do. They put on a show on that stage of the auditorium. They beat up the Panthers pretty good, 62-10, but it was definitely fun seeing them on stage. All the wrestlers that got a victory last Thursday night was Franklin Crawford, Aiden Brooker, Cameron Hilton, Ryan Shell, Asher Jones, Ryan Bedwell, Austin Attinger, Tierson Walford, Talon Gardner, and Aaron Harden. Those guys picked up W's for our squad. They are now, the rest of the boys wrestlers are now 27-6 in duels. Just really having a fantastic year. The season is, of course, not over yet. The JV squad had a pretty good tournament as well, pretty good season as well for a JV team. They finished second in the Peru tournament. Never an easy tournament there for the JV squad, and they finished second, so big shout out to them. Tonight, they travel to Rensselaer. Should be a good showdown there against the Bombers. That'll be at 6 p.m. And then Saturday is what we've been waiting for, baby. Saturday conference, looking to make it number 7 in a row for Coach Day and his wrestlers. That will be this Saturday. They're traveling to Triton, take on some Trojans, along with some other conference opponent. I know we have North Miami in sight too, who beat us a couple of weeks ago. They are considered one of the favorites as well, along with some other conference opponents. But it should be a battle. Can't wait to talk to Coach Day afterwards and get the scoop. And hopefully he'll be super excited, having two hands up of fingers, making that number 7 for our Winnemac boys wrestling squad. And their season, I'm telling you what, their season is getting down to it. They have 2.5 weeks left. They have, of course, next week after conference, a full week. And then the week after that, February 1st, is their sectionals. So like I mentioned, 2.5 weeks away, February 1st, they will travel to Plymouth. So they just have this month, and then they're done. And of course, and see how far we advance in sectionals and regionals in February. But their season getting down to it, and it's definitely important last couple of weeks here. So good luck to the coaching staff for the wrestling squad and Coach Day and the boys there. Let's move on to girls basketball. They had 2 games last week. One of them, last Tuesday, they took on the Knox Redskins, the battle of 35. That was on WKVI. They did what they were supposed to do at home, beating the Knox Redskins 47-35. And what caught my eye in this game was the ability to take care of the ball. The girls only had 4 turnovers, which when you have 4 turnovers, you don't lose many games. They took care of the ball very well. Candace Croft, she had herself a game with 21 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. She had 4 3-pointers. She got to the free throw line 10 times, she shot it 10 times. She made 7 of those 10. So she was a big impact in that game. Sadie Popejoy, the sophomore, she had 9 points, 4 rebounds. Marissa Iverson, she had 8 points, 7 rebounds. Maggie Keller, Shay Lamer, and KK O'Connor all pitched in with 3 points each with that victory against the Knox Lady Redskins. Last Friday, they had a game as well, the boys and girls doubleheader. They took on North Miami. That one got away from us. We lost to the other Warriors squad, 42-36. But I'll tell you what really hurt us in this game, we dug ourselves a pretty good hole in that first quarter. North Miami came on our court ready to play. They started off a 7-0 run. And at the end of that first quarter, we were down by 11, 16-5. And it was just very difficult to claw back and take the lead after that. We did take it. It was a 5-point game with 1 minute left in the fourth quarter. I mean, we were there and we had the ball. We had an opportunity, but we just couldn't get over that mountain. But North Miami got us there. Candace Croft, she had 11 points. She led the way again. 5 rebounds, 3 assists. She's averaging 12.7 points per game, leading the Lady Warriors. Sadie Popejoy, she had 7 points. She's averaging 12 as well, 12.1 to be exact. Maggie Keller came in. She knocked down 2 3-point shots for us. She's averaging about 2 points a game. Marissa Iverson, she had 5 points, 8 rebounds against North Miami. She's averaging 10.1. KK O'Connor, she had 4. Lamer had 3 against North Miami. They're both averaging 3 points per game. So tonight, they take on Triton. That is at home. Triton, they are struggling a little bit this year. They're normally a pretty hard team to beat, but this year they are struggling. They are 2-5. They have wins against Jimtown and Trinity Greenlawn. Last year they beat us 35-25. And then the last 20 years, they're beating us 6-3. So hopefully we can pick up another W. Right now, we're sitting 11-7. We are 3-1 in conference. And then Saturday, we have another conference game against Oregon Davis. We travel there to the Dome, another boy and girls doubleheader. They are 8-7 right now. They have wins against Couts, Triton, Knox, and Tri-Township. They've lost to Culver, Pioneer, West Central, Caston, North Judson, North Miami. Last time we played them was back in 2020, where Coach Cole Croft was coaching us up. They ended up beating us 51-47. In the last 20 years, we battled the Lady Bobcats. They are beating us 2-0. So we have not won against the Oregon Davis Bobcats in the last 20 years. So I think that's the time is coming, definitely, to pick up a W there. Always fun to play there in the Dome. I love their gym. And of course, that will be covered by WKVI Saturday night. Good luck to the girls, of course, this week. Let's move on to the boys basketball program. They had only one game last week, and that was against North Miami. They ended up beating North Miami 56-52. Now, this score looks like, you look to it, you didn't watch the game. You saw they won by 4. It must have been a pretty close game. It was only close the last 2 minutes. I mean, I tell you what, Winnemac controlled the whole game pretty much. They had a 17-point lead in the third quarter. They had a 17-point lead with 2 minutes, 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. A 17-point lead. North Miami, they ran zone, 2-3 zone majority of the game. They went man and they pressed Winamac in the fourth quarter, and that's what caused us to turn it over a little bit. North Miami, again, the pace was flowing for them. They knocked down some big three-point shots. It was 54-48 with about 25 seconds left, and North Miami hit. They banked in a three-point shot, making it a three-point game with 20 seconds left. But we ended up knocking down some free throws and got a key stop, so we ended up beating them 56-52. Just a good conference win, protecting our home court. It was a good gutsy win too. Brendan Hines, I'll tell you what, he looked like a man that game. He had 20 points, took care of business on the free throw line, like his uncle Kevin Good. He was 9 for 10 on the free throw line. Overall this season, so far as a senior leader, captain Hines, he is shooting 23 for 30 on the free throw line, making it a 77% shooter from the free throw line, leading the team in that category. He is averaging about 12 points per game, just having a really good senior year for Hines. Justin Potoff, he did pretty well too that game against North Miami. He had 17 points. 5 rebounds, 3 assists, through 2 3-point shots. He's averaging about 11.3 points per game. Will Malco, he had 8 points, 7 rebounds. He makes himself known inside the paint for sure. Just doing pretty things in the interior there for Will Malco. He's averaging, he's our leading scorer actually, 13.2 points per game so far after 11 games that our Warriors have played. Jabin Hines, he had a pretty good game against North Miami. He had 6 points, 5 assists. He's averaging about 6.5. Ethan Burgess, he's averaging 4.5. He had 3 points, 5 rebounds against North Miami. But I'll tell you what, I could watch Ethan Burgess almost all game. Like, I really love watching this kid play. I'm super happy. He is on our squad, and he has Winamac over his chest. He's a coach's dream. He really is. That'd be extremely hard to take out Ethan Burgess. I'll tell you what. He just does all the little things correctly. One of the first plays against North Miami. North Miami tried to feed the post, and Ethan Burgess read it perfectly, and he deflected and got a steal. And then there was another play later in the first. North Miami had a wide open layup, and so North Miami tried to advance it and pass it to the guy ahead of everybody. Ethan Burgess busted his butt, deflected it, went out of bounds, and gave us an opportunity to get a stop after the ball was dead. It's just those plays there. Just huge for each team to have. And Ethan Burgess diving all over the place. I love watching Ethan Burgess play. And he leads the team in offensive rebounds. That's just defining on what he does mentally, what he does for this team. And, leading the rebound category, yes, that'd be good. Defensive rebounds. But if you're leading a team in offensive rebounds, you're a hustler. And that's what Ethan Burgess is. He definitely hustles. Love watching this kid play. Parker Zider came in there. He hit a pretty good shot for us. Off the dribble, about free throw line shot that kept the rhythm flowing for us there. He's averaging about 2 points a game. This week, I'll tell you what, they have 3 road games, and they are not easy. 2 of them being conference. Tonight, they travel to Northfield, a pretty good Northfield team. They have wins against Wabash twice, North Miami, South Adams, and Lewis Cass. They are now on a 4-game winning streak. They are 7-4. They have a player, I was watching film on them. They have a player, his name is Carter Rogers, a point guard senior. He is a heck of a shooter, I'll tell you what. He's averaging 14.5 points per game. And what concerns me about Northfield, what we like to do, we like to mix it up a little bit, run some 2-3 zone. We like to run some man as well. But if we run 2-3 zone, I'm really concerned about Rogers, him getting loose. He's shooting 48% from the three-point line. Again, just a really good shooter, and that's how they beat North Miami pretty good, and Lewis Gaskas, they ran 2-3 zone. And Carter Rogers, we have to contain him and know where he is. They also have a 6'5" freshman, big boy in the interior that can carve you up. He's averaging about 9 points per game, 7 rebounds. Again, just a 6'5" freshman that is pretty athletic there. Last year, we beat them 45-33. In the last 40 years against Northfield, they are beating us 2-1. So hopefully we can even that out. We are actually entering, based off of John Harrell website, we are entering this game underdogs. So hopefully we have a chip on our shoulder and we can go there, start this road trip, business trip this week off to a good start. Friday night, we travel to one of our rivals in North Judson. They are now 4-4. They have wins against South Central, Morgan Township, Knox, and Oregon Davis. All 4 of those schools are struggling a little bit this year. They've lost to Rochester by 16, River Forest, LaVille, and Griffith. Now with North Judson, they do have majority of their basketball players are football players who made it to state about a month ago or so. So we know some of these names and Radke and Wilcox and McDaniel, but you know there are a lot of football players on that team. So we know that they're really, really physical. They're a physical team. So what needs to happen for us to go there in North Judson in a hostile environment, one of our rivals, they already don't like us, which I don't blame them. They will be very physical. And so add that rival into it, they're going to be even more physical. They're a physical team. So a goal there when we travel to North Judson, we have to match their physicalness and do even more. And that's how we will beat a team like North Judson, just making sure that they don't bully us. We bully them. So hopefully that is our mentality going into that conference game, one of our rivals against the Blue Jays. That game will be covered by WKVI. Saturday, they travel to Oregon Davis. That game will be covered by WKVI as well. Oregon Davis, they are struggling a little bit this year. They are 0-10. They play Argus Friday, so they might get a win there. We'll see. But they went to overtime against Tri-Township. They've lost to North White, North Miami. They have some big boys in the interior, but what we normally say with teams like this, especially Oregon Davis teams, we do not want them to think that they're going to win the game. So we got to close that door early. Make sure that they don't feel like that they can win at all. It's always fun to go to Oregon Davis and play. Beautiful gym. I love the Dome. I think one of my favorite places to play and coach in the area is that gym. Absolutely love it. I will be there with WKVI. I can't wait to watch it. Last year, we beat them up pretty good on our court, 60-39. The last 40 years, we are beating Oregon Davis overall record 15-10. So hopefully we can do the same thing and become victorious. Three pretty big games for our boys program in basketball this week. We'll see what we can do and what we're made of. That is the score update. And like I mentioned, we have some pretty awesome guests. And about time we have them on. I apologize for the delay. Their season's over with, but we still have them on. Girls wrestling is coming up next. Hey, you're doing it. You're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
It's time for the Warrior Athlete of the Day. Let's return to the voice of the Winamac Athletic Podcast, Justin Ruff.
Welcome back to the Winamac Athletic Podcast. Today, super excited to welcome a freshman of the Winamac girls wrestling team, Brianna Patton. Patton, how's it going? Thanks for joining us today.
It's going good.
You are a freshman, and I do have to say, I do believe, and my memory is good, sometimes it's not, but I do believe you are the very first freshman that is on our show. Congratulations. You are the only freshman. Does that mean anything to you, or Probably not.
I mean,
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. We'll take it. All right. Would you mind, Patton, sharing with us all of the sports and activities you are currently involved in this year?
I'm in wrestling and golf.
Wrestling and golf. Awesome. Between those sports, there's a big question here. Now, don't feel pressure from Coach Ream. Just close your eyes if you need to. What sport is your favorite between those two?
I mean, I like wrestling because it was like an opportunity to do something new. But I think I like golf because my dad loves it and because he's like my coach, so he teaches me a bunch of things about it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's fantastic. Both of them are pretty hard sports. I'm not gonna lie. Golf is very hard. I've never wrestled, but it doesn't seem easy at times. So good for you going after the hard ones. What I want to know, what got you into wrestling, Pat? And I know it's a kind of a newer thing. Did someone come up to you and, hey, you want to try this? Brand new sport, or what got you into wrestling?
So someone came in the classroom and like said that there was wrestling callouts, and I wanted to try something new because like girls wrestling was not a thing at our school before this. So I wanted to try something new. And when we went there, it was an iffy, like if it was even gonna start. So it was when we went to practices, it was just like a club almost. And then we finally got accepted to be a sport.
That's pretty awesome. And we'll talk about that in a little bit, how that all went about. But that's pretty cool that was an opportunity for you and for the girls. Let's switch gears a little bit about your summer activities. I know, heck, you probably didn't know exactly if you're going to be doing wrestling during the summer last summer. But for golf, what's your summer activity look like last summer?
Going to golf like every day, having to go to meet and stay until like late at them and just golf.
Fantastic. That's awesome. All right, let's talk about your team for the girls wrestling team. Now, like we mentioned, this is the first squad. I mean, this is the first ever team in this program. I'm sure that really meant a lot to you and the girls. What did you guys soak this in? Like hey, this is the first time ever that there's a Winamac girls wrestling squad. I know, since I do believe since I've been alive, there hasn't been a brand new team, a brand new like sport program that came in. Have you guys soaked that in yet? I know it was a pretty big moment, I bet, when you guys actually got approved and got have an opportunity to be, sectional. Do you guys realize how big of a thing that is?
I mean, for us, it felt like, we know it was a new sport, but for us, it felt normal. And when we got accepted, it already felt like we were accepted right when we first started practicing.
I love it. So mentally, you were already there. You were like, hey, we're considering this. This is already, we're gonna act like this is a big time stuff. So you guys were already there mentally, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Look at you. That's cool to hear. All right, so let's do something a little bit more fun, I guess. I got 5 questions for you, Patton. Okay, they're pretty hard ones, and I'm gonna a little about yourself. I'm just joking. They're not hard at all. If you know yourself, these are easy. So, 5 questions about yourself. You got it? Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Number 1. This one's pretty easy, pretty enjoyable. What is your favorite Disney movie? If you don't like Disney at all, this is hard. But what's your favorite Disney movie?
Moana.
Ooh, that's a good one. You like the second one?
Yeah, I think it was better.
So you like the second one better than the first one?
Yeah, usually movies that come out with second versions are not good, and only the first ones are. But in Moana, the second one was pretty good.
I agree. I do like, shame on me, I do like the song. Majority of the songs better in the first one than the second one. But that's just me. I'm weird. All right, number 2. All right, are you this is like not really the question, but do you like Taylor Swift at all?
I liked her when she was all country and stuff, and
Okay.
like that.
But this
But
might be a little bit difficult for you. Number 2, what is your favorite Taylor Swift song? You can go back to her country days, I guess. Taylor Swift song. What's your favorite one? Do you know any?
no, I'm trying to think of the name.
Is it newer? or older?
An older one.
Oh, man. You can sing it. Yeah, go ahead and sing it. Why not?
It was where she was talking to this boy through the window, and with like.
Oh, love story? Is it love story?
Yeah, love story.
Oh, it's kind of weird that I knew that, but we're gonna ignore that. I'll take it. I like that one. I like that one too. Number 3, your least favorite season. Now, season meaning like fall, summer, right now, winter, spring. What's your least favorite season?
Probably summer.
Oh
I
my!
like that you get to swim and stuff, but the weather is just too hot. Like,
It's too hot, so you're not a hot person. You don't like the heat.
no.
Okay. What's your favorite one? Is it winter?
Fall.
Oh, I might be with you on that one. I like fall time.
Yeah, my
I get it.
my leaves in my backyard look so pretty, so that's why I also like it.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Number 4, I have a super awesome wand that turns you into have any kind of superpowers. What's one superpower you would want to have?
Turning invisible.
Oh, okay. That would be a little bit harder for someone to wrestle you if you were invisible. So I like what you're thinking. I like it there. That's good thinking. This is the hardest one, number 5. It catches a lot of people. It's a famous one. What is one unknown fact? Not a lot of people know about that. What do you got? Yep, I can feel your brain moving. I can feel it. One unknown fact. Do you turn invisible? I mean, I don't know if you want to release that information.
Well, I mean, I couldn't really think of one, but some people know this, some people don't, because we don't really look alike. But I have a twin brother.
See, there you go. See, I didn't know that. That was a good one. That was a good one. I'm guessing at school, but I like that one. Twin brother. What's his name?
Bentley.
Well, that's awesome. See, that was a good one. Look
Yeah,
at you.
Some people say we look alike, but some people don't say we look alike. I think I look more like my little brother Connor.
Okay, so there's another patent coming out. I
Yeah,
like
he's
it.
also gonna do wrestling next year too.
Love it. Well, cool stuff. That's awesome. See, that wasn't that bad, right? That was fun. Let's go back to the season. I kind of want to know, heading into the season, what majority of it can be you and your other teammates. What was your guys' goal heading into this season? You guys had any personal goals or any team goals? I know the season's over with now, but what were you guys' goals heading into the season?
To try our hardest and to win a competition at least once, even though we don't win. Like our coach says, when you're not winning, you're learning. So, and my personal goal was getting a win, like, to the season, even if it's one.
Now you were one of them that had your very first 10, right?
Right.
That was pretty awesome to see. How was that moment? Was that just an absolutely awesome moment that you finally had your first one? Is that a cool one?
Yeah, it was like I couldn't process it at first, but when I did, I was like so happy. Also because I got $20. I got $20, but
Well, that will do it. That will make you happier.
yeah.
You know, you get money.
After or before every practice or meet or whatever, my mom would tell me to get mad and she'd give me $20 if I did. So I did this day and I actually won the match.
I love it. I love it. Well, that was a good call by mom. Good for her.
Yep.
Typing with money. That's a good one. Well, hey, Brianna, that was awesome that we did it. Thank you so much for jumping on today. Do you have any last words or comments before you leave?
Nope.
You back at it next year for wrestling, continue the process?
I mean, yeah, if I'm still here.
Oh, we'll take it. We'll take it. Hopefully you are. So that's awesome. Hey, once again, big shout out, Brianna. Thank you so much. That was Brianna Patton, the freshman for the Winamac girls wrestling team. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey, you're doing it. You're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
It's time for the Warrior Coach of the Day. Let's return to the voice of the Winamac Athletic Podcast, Justin Ruff.
Welcome back to the Winamac Athletic Podcast. Today, super thrilled to introduce the very first ever head coach of the Woodinette girls wrestling team, Coach Lauren Rains. How's it going, Coach? How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Thank you so much for working with me and finally finding a day to talk about some girls wrestling. I know it's been hard to find a day because I know you girls, once you guys were approved, you guys were boom firing away in the season. I tell you what, season was like super quick. I felt like for you girls, and we can talk about that. But thank you so much for joining us today, Coach. It's just a fantastic opportunity for our listeners to get to know you better and your girls, your background, your journey leading up to this point, and all those fun things. Let's go ahead and start by your background, Coach. Can you share with us the high school you attended, the year you graduated, and if you were in any hobbies or sport?
Yeah, I actually grew up in Logansport, but I went to high school at Pioneer. I graduated in 2008. I grew up playing sports. I danced, like soccer, baseball, did track and field. But when I went to high school, I mainly focused on my academics. So I didn't participate in any sport. I was in drama club and a lot of other academic clubs. But the one thing I did connect with sports was I was the wrestling manager for the high school boys wrestling team.
Okay. So that's kind of why you kind of fell into wrestling then, right? Because you were around it for the most part.
Yeah, I was around it, and now I have two of my boys, but one of my boys in middle school, they're both in wrestling though. The two of my children are in wrestling too, so it kind of just has always been there.
Has always done it. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Awesome. Let's move on to your college experience, Coach. Which college did you attend? And were you in any activities there at that time?
I went freshman year to Manchester College. It's now Manchester University. For there, I was just on the college dance team and the a cappella choir. But then I kind of had a break in between college and was doing college online. And then I came back to finish my education degree through WTU. So I didn't get to play sports since I was in online school.
Okay. Well, cool. What Manchester dance team, huh? We need to get a dance team going for Woodinette. You want to be the head coach there? I'm sure you know some stuff.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that.
Well, that's awesome. Pretty cool stuff. Post-college, I know you said you went to WGU, which is awesome. Got your degree there. But let's talk about your career after college, going into your current job.
My husband's in the military, so I kind of went all around when it came to jobs. I actually was a legal assistant for almost a decade before I got into this, but some things came up and I had to decide what I actually wanted to do, stay in law or do what I'd wanted to be done since I was 5 with this team. So I switched gears. I subbed for 3 years through our school district, and I did that while I completed my degree and finished my degree up and got my job this year as the 8th grade math teacher.
That's fantastic stuff. And this is your first year, correct, teaching?
Yeah, it's my first year in my own classroom.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. And you teach math?
Yeah, for mainly just 8th graders and advanced 8th grade. I do have a 7th grade rotation that I have as well throughout the year, but they're all math classes.
Okay. Well, I am sorry, but math was my least favorite subject. I'm sorry.
Just to have some fun in it. That's the difference with math.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you're right. You are right.
They're happy about it.
Okay, I like it. Well, that's pretty cool stuff, Coach. And thank you so much for that. Let's move on to wrestling. Let's talk about your wrestling squad. What I want to know, Coach, is just the process of all this and how it went down. I know you how the girls what wrestling team became about. So I know you said that you were, your sons are in wrestling, so they were around it. But I want to know if someone came up to you like, hey, would you be interested in getting this going, starting the club, and then possibly going into official sport, or how did this whole process come about? Can you tell us that?
Yeah, it was crazy actually how fast it happened. I coached soccer for a number of years with the Wellness Center, and basically anything my kids do, I try to help coach be part of it. I'm very active with that. And 2 of my boys, I have one currently in 3rd grade and one currently 7th grade, They actually are part of the Warpath Wrestling Club, which is a wrestling club we have here from K through 8. I've helped this out the last few years. Last year they don't have a title. It's kind of like the room mom. So with the younger kids, I helped with the move. With the older kids, I basically made sure they stayed in line. That goes back to subbing. So I knew a lot of the kids since I subbed kindergarten through 12th grade. So I knew a lot of the kids. I came in more as a staff last year, helping more. And then Coach Jay, who's with the boys team here, he approached me early on and said, would I be interested with my experience helping with Warpath to take on the girls' high school wrestling club? And at that time, we were just going to practice 3 times a week, maybe a couple meets, and that was it. It was a lot. At the beginning, our first practice, we only had 1 girl show up. So we really had to spread the word on it because it just wasn't well known at the time. People just weren't sure what it was all about. And if we were with the boys or we weren't with the boys, we had a lot we had to work through. And then we ended up with 4 active girls, 3 managers, and just kind of went from there. And then we got the word. Actually, at one of our meets, we got the word that we officially became a high school sport. And from there, it took off to get ready for sectionals. It was kind of a whirlwind, a lot of bumps and bruises along the way when it came to the learning curve of going from just a club to a full sport. But it was awesome. The girls did what you do in wrestling. You adjust, you adapt, you overcome, and they do that in wrestling, and we did that with every adjustment, and we just went with it. I think the big thing that motivated us, this is starting a legacy. There are now in Warpath Wrestling Club, I've seen for the last few years, we have girls there that really struggle because there's only a few of them. So we're trying to get more and more girls. They're kind of the odd man out. And this is starting something. I have a 3-year-old daughter. So this is starting something that hopefully when she gets to this age, we not only have a whole girls high school wrestling team, it'd be awesome in the long run to have a whole middle school girls wrestling team on its own too. I can see for our school and for our state. It's pretty awesome.
It is awesome, man. And that's the thing that I told Pat, and I'm like, do you guys understand what you're starting and what you're a part of right now? I mean, it's history in the making. It's fantastic stuff, and I love stuff like that. And another thing I want to know, Coach, did anything like change after you guys found out you guys were actually an official sport and team now, not a club? Did anything change when it came to your goals or anything, or just did everything stay the same? Hey, we know what we're doing. Now it's official.
I would say it kind of stays the same. We knew we wanted this to be a sport next year. So we went in with the mindset, I let the girls know from the get-go. I kind of, as Brianna said, my philosophy is you're winning or you're learning. So I definitely stuck with that from the get-go as if this was a sport. We're going to practice. We're going to come in hard. We're going to learn everything we can and just go from there. So when we became official sport, it was kind of just finally, right. Everything we've worked for is to the point where it's at. So,
well, that's awesome. Again, I was really pumped when I heard after the school board media approved it, and I heard it was Sistel. I was like, oh man, it was good news. It was definitely good news, and super happy about you and your girls. The schedule again was kind of like tossed in the air. Lots of things happened so quickly. I know your season just ended, but do you know anything about next season and that schedule and how that would look like?
So now that it's the official sport, next year's season will be different. This year started the club, so we had 3 practices a week. We did it towards the end of the season to try to make up for the fact that we were full-fledged sport, but we can only do so much. Next year, we will be like the boys. We'll be wrestling with practice every single day. After school, we'll have way more meets. This year, we only had a few meets. We were hoping for more. It just timing didn't make it. But next year, we'll have a lot more meets, hopefully competitive with the number that the boys go to, and then going on to conference and sectional, a lot more.
Awesome. Well, that's fantastic stuff. Well, hey, Coach, one more thing. Can you list off, Coach, every athlete that you had on your team?
Yeah, absolutely. I had Haley Raines, who was a senior, Jasmine Frater, who's a junior, Brianna Patton, and Abby Tate were my freshmen this year. And them 2 were the ones who got my pin for the year. Both girls ended up walking away with a pin under the belt, which was awesome. And then I had my 3 managers. I had Kendra Sypek, and then I had Lauren Bruce, and I had Salem Pogue. All my managers were super supportive. Sometimes we had them in as we called them the dummies. They had to sit in so the girls could practice their hand movement when we needed them to.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's cool. So three out of your four, when it comes to your wrestlers, are returning, hopefully, next year.
That's the goal. Three of them are returning, and we're hoping for more. I told the girls, spread the word. I'm shooting for 15 next year.
Oh, I love that. That's a good one.
For 15, because I had to drive that white bus, and I did not want to drive the white bus next season. So I said 15. We're going for that goal.
Okay, that's a good goal for you too then. I love it. I love it. Well, now we're good, Coach. I can't thank you enough for jumping on today. Do you have any last words or comments before we take off?
I'm really proud of the girls and the season they had. I'm proud of everybody who supported us. We got a lot of support from, especially the boys high school wrestling team. They were super supportive, helping us girls with our mats and giving us guidance on different moves and what we needed to do. So I just appreciate them and the school board who approved us and everybody who's just played a hand in this, Mr. Leverett, and just making this happen. Like I said, it's a legacy, and it just takes those few people to say, yeah, I support you girls, and that's what we got this season. So like I said, I hope we continue on this legacy, and you're going to hopefully see Winamac at state some years when we keep growing, maybe next year.
I love it. Well, awesome, Coach. Again, thank you so much for jumping on with us today. That was Lauren Reams, the head coach, the very first ever head coach of the Winamac girls wrestling team. Hey, you're doing it. You're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Sanders Foods. Whatever you're looking for, you'll find it at your hometown grocery store. First Federal Savings Bank. They don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Riverside Rentals. Discover canoeing, kayaking, and lazy river tubing right here in Winamac. Action Plumbing and Heating. For all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Been serving people since 1994. We would like to thank our sponsors for sponsoring today's show and being part of the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe. Go Warriors!